Hi Collective, welcome to my channel, Crystal Shadow Work. Hi everyone. So this is going to be an epic twin flame message that I have. Because guys, this is going off of my story and off of a download that I received because I finally got clarity and I'm so excited. Like I'm not even kidding. Like I got the download. And then I was so excited, like I ran out here to do the reading and I was starting to give the reading. And then I think it was the spell work that's been projected on me that it was flipping it. And then Source got involved and my camera got corrupted and it stopped me. And I got sent back to the bathroom, like back on timeout, like I'm not even playing. Because I was like, no, I have this wrong. Because see, I get like my epic downloads, the ones that come through a lot when I'm connected with water source. And it's because I guess it helps purify. Maybe because I've been under so much spell work that I know when I connect with water source that I get very clear clarity. So, yeah. And everybody's story is not going to be as significant and spell work and black magic and all sorts of stuff like that, and as challenging as mine, I feel, because everybody's situation is different. And I don't know how it all works with the twin flames. Like, definitely twin flames are very much the chosen ones. I really believe that. Because we need a lot of help and assistance from Source and Divine to navigate through these. You would never get through them without Source, Divine, Spirit, right? And so, we're doing so much stuff. These twin flame journeys are about, we're clearing out karmic cycles and patterns within our lives, because we have karma we're clearing out. That's why we sign up for these as well. So we're clearing out karma, we're clearing out karmic patterns, and some of us curses within our ancestors, bloodlines, things like that, within our families. Because when a curse is put upon a family member, if they don't fulfill that, it then goes down to their child. And if you get into doing spell work and things like that, you curse your children and sometimes your children's children, right? And see, in my family, we have witchery very much. I've got Druidry in my family, pagan, I believe too, but I know very much that I'm a crystal witch, white magic, but I don't know I don't know if I had any of my family members before that got into doing any of that black magic or dark magic, but I just know that I very much got into doing the white magic, very much into crystal healing and all of that. But see, so a lot of this spell work, it was like in my journey, I've said that I've had a corrupted twin flame journey. And I've called it compromise and things like that because I've never been able to figure out my twin. I've always gone back and forth between my twin and a soulmate. And my daughter actually pointed out to me today, because I have 4 children, I do, and I've had a couple. They have 3 different daddies because mommy kept getting into karmic relationships and cycles, and then I had some other boyfriends, and I just finally completed the karmic loop and cycle that I was stuck in. And so my daughter is like, Mom, no more boyfriends, seriously, you've had 5. I'm like, oh my God, please don't say it like that. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, why have I had so many, right? And then I was realizing, I know very much that 2 of them are past life lovers, soulmates. So I had that, those karmic cycles for me to clear out, right? But then I had some other things and tests that I needed to pass. And because of the witchery and the spell work and the curses that were sent upon me, there's been spell work done, right? So I've been attracting incubuses or succubus, one of those, but dark, very, very dark entities came my way, right? So I've had some, very scary situations with those. So yeah, I've been battling off those and fighting those, and but it was like I was getting those sent along with karmics, and I always knew as though that you don't go looking for love, even though I had a lot of emotional traumas to heal from being within a child, whatever, inner child healing. And then so I felt like I leveled up when I finally healed some inner trauma wounds, and I got to get away from certain entities, and I thought I was doing very well. So then I thought very much that I attracted finally my twin, right? But I felt as though we were out of alignment because I I had started to awaken my spiritual journey. I knew I overcame a big obstacle of a loop that I was stuck in, right? The narcissistic codependency one or whatever, where I had a fear of abandonment, fear of being alone, because I had like no family. And it got really scary for me too. I got to a point where I actually lost, my place to stay. So me and my children had to live in hotels for almost 6 months. I mean, I always had a place for them. I kept it fun. I moved to certain, but it was a very, very scary experience for me. It's crazy though that that's like their funnest time of their life. They talk about it often, like, Mom, can we go back to? I'm like, no, we're so not. But see, Mom kept it fun and stuff, and we had more than enough money. But being in Florida, and it was right around spring break time, you just have no idea, because it's right when too everybody's starting to rent, because or everything's like anyway, it's a terrible time to try to like find a house or things like that, or anything with everybody. And even any time of the year, it's extremely difficult because everybody's wanting to move to Florida. Anyway, so I didn't ever want to go through that again. So I kind of went right back into another karmic situation because I still had, fears and wounds and all of that. But I won't get into all of that. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about my last one. So when I finally get into the situation, and I'm like, why am I so awakened and they're not? Why is it like everything that I do, they want to do? And everybody would tell us like we look alike and things like this. And I noticed just a lot of similarities. And I was always like, why is it like everything that I do like he does? And then I was like, oh, is it that mirroring soulmate thing? I'm like, maybe he's like a higher vibration, like mirroring soulmate or whatever. And then I realized, oh my God, he's a doppelganger. He's my doppelganger. I was like, are you kidding me? This would so make sense. That is why he'd be in competition with me. It would be hidden. He would be just like me. He would be mirroring me. I would think very much, in fact, that he was my twin. And I do believe that was like all set up, right? At like maybe it was spell work that did it. Maybe he was still a past life lover soulmate, but it was changed to make him a doppelganger, to make him want to be with me. I don't know. But I was just like, oh my gosh, like, and I've heard that term a couple times. So guys, if you're like twin is like, you could have a lot of false twins that are very much like in so much competition with you, and there's a lot of similarities, but it could very much be a doppelganger. Like I always thought it had to be like the same sex or whatever, but no. Oh my God, it made perfect sense. Like I was laughing so hard because I was like, oh my God, are you serious? Like, how did I miss this? So I needed to share that with somebody. Like, I've heard that. I haven't even fully looked up the characteristics of a doppel, but that's a download I got, and I just know that is definitely it from the little bit that I know. I'm probably going to laugh for another hour as I read about it. But see, like, I still had to get empowered to let that go, because I was like, wait a minute. He's not embracing my soul. Like, I grew a lot, let me tell you. Like, I advanced a lot spiritually and awakened a lot more abilities and gifts. But it was also time for me, because I'd already reached a huge paradigm jump where, I got out of my narcissistic paradigm shift there. So, I just thought since I awakened, it was going to take my twin a little bit. But we were together a year, and I'm like, he's turning more and more toxic. Like, what is going on? And then, like I said, there's a lot of spell work that's being done. I mean, I've got my own family does spell work against me. My parents, were toxic. My children have been used against me. You know what I mean? Because some of them have the demons like attached to their souls, because of who I'm involved with. So I've been trying to break that and all sorts of stuff. So, so I knew it was going to take my journey a lot longer, because I'm constantly getting, my energy drained from them and their lower toxic vibrational energies. And, so I knew it was going to take me a lot longer, but see, I'm like, not going to give up on my children and stuff, right? So, always just having to find ways to combat that, right? So anyway, I thought that was very significant to share. But see, I've always went to like outsider guidance and assistance, other beautiful readers and things like that, because with spell work constantly getting projected towards me and confusion spells and all of that stuff, I've really felt that it's going to impact my readings. So I don't like to do plus all of like my exes, like because of the spell work, I believe, they don't let go of me, right? So they always come up in my energy. And just like, I believe one of mine is like, he doesn't realize he's a master manifester. So because he is constantly, like, I don't even know if it's constantly, that's probably the wrong word, but throughout the years, like, he's thought about me because we've left things unfinished with like ghosting each other back and forth or whatever. So it's like that thought's always there. That's why in my last reading I did, you guys might want to take a look, I talk about how you shouldn't leave things unfinished because they leave they leave particles, right? And they leave those open, and those actually affect your mind process and your confidence level. So you really need to close out things and not leave unfinished business and things like that. And even if you can't express it to that person, but you kind of like write a letter, or you write it off, or release it with the full moon or things like that. But you shouldn't leave things unfinished. Just like you should always express your emotions and feelings for somebody, and never just not tell them, because it's better to get rejected than to hold on to that the rest of your life, feeling as though you missed an opportunity. You're never going to feel whole, because you're always going to be holding on to somebody else, that even when you do get into a relationship, and say it's with the love of your life, but you still feel as though you did not express your feelings, you're still going to have that, well, what if you know what I mean? So you should just get it out too, and that way you don't have that particle, that blockage there, because you're going to go there anytime there's like a fight or an argument, or you know what I mean? Like, even if things are perfect, wait till there's one fight, and then you're going to be thinking about that other person or whatever. So like, anyway, but some of us had these very strong abilities, right? And so like, I always knew that I was on the twin flame journey, and I always thought as though the difference, like trying to figure out like who's definitely been toxic and karmic, and who's been, an incubus, or I think that's the male one, right? And succubus is the female entity that's attached to souls or whatever. But anyway, I've been trying to figure it out, right? And I've been battling the past year, because it's like every time like I get out of a relationship, because I don't go looking for love, I've always done that. It needs to attract me, right? So whenever like I get out of a relationship or whatever, I'm like, well, who comes in? And it's like I've always had the same to come at me, right? Like the last like 3 relationships, and I was just like, clearly I've got some karmic ties or cycles or whatever. So I've been trying to figure it out, and then like I said, it's a lot. I feel like I was told, explain my story, it's gonna help somebody, right? So then I've been going back and forth with it, and then I was like, well, if there was spell work done on me, then there's probably spell work done on my lover, on my true twin, right? So then, and there very much could be spell work done on him, and then so he wouldn't foresee love as it was. It would send him down paths. Some of the spell work is pretty wicked too. Like I hear, like to push them into like solicitation, to make them gay, like there's just all sorts of stuff, like beauty spells, and that's for males too. It's just they don't feel that they're attractive. Spells to make them feel as though they don't deserve love, just fear of self-confidence. So they just all sorts of stuff, it gets projected. And, it's very unfortunate. And then, like I said, that's just my side of the family, right? Because I have ancestors that were back, like, in the witch trials and all that stuff, right? So there's definitely been curses put upon my family. But see, like, I've been told, like, I've broken those karmic lessons. So I'm so excited that I broke those when I did that paradigm jump finally. That took me through relationships, right? But then I was like, well, why is this not working out? And then I realized the doppelganger thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, right? So, okay, back to what I was going at with, like, so I went to outsider information, right? But guys, I need to tell you, there is so much corruption within the false spiritualists. like, you guys got to really be careful where you're getting your advice from, because these twin flame journeys are meant for us to connect with divine source, our ancestors, not through the stuff. Because here is what I want to tell you. So I've been getting heavily the same type of readings. And the same type of readings have been giving me my energy where, you know, like me and my twin, like all of a sudden, like we were fine. But then as I started to ascend, I started to like see a lot of, he seemed as though he was hiding stuff, and I wasn't feeling as though he was being truthful, and he was starting to be more distant and all of this. So, and I'm a very strong intuitive, and I'm like, he's definitely hiding stuff. But see, like, I isolated myself when I started to do my ascension, right? I was told to, maybe for whatever reason, because I haven't been able to get there because of all the toxicity within my family, right? So I did that, but he felt as though I was pulling my energy back. So then he was pulling his energy back. And we have got a communication barrier because we're like the exact same. It's crazy. So when I pull back, he pulls back. And then we've got a communication barrier. And then I started to think, well, what if he's getting involved with an ex because it was around retrograde time? And then I started thinking about one of my past relationships. And then we got into a big argument. Then he went to go stay with his mom. And then he came back all different. So I'm like, oh, no, he did something. Because then I'm seeing betrayal and all of this. And I just created all these. And then I go to the internet, right? And, of course, betrayal, and all of this stuff. And I'm like, oh, he definitely did or whatever. But what I didn't realize is that very much it was revealing for me a lot of what was going on with my twin flame. But they were giving me the guidance that happened, I felt, with the past lover that I thought could have been my twin. Right? But see, I was projecting it towards my current situation. And I'm like, I wanted clarity. I was like, Source, give me clarity about my twin flame collective. Like, what's happened with it? What's going on with my twin? What happened, right? What's the karmic lesson? What's the blockage? What's going on here? So when I was getting that guidance, every reading was coming out the same, where he had picked me third party, went to a karmic instead of the whatever, and I was ghosted, whatever, because when he went to his mom's, he wasn't talking to me. So, like, it fit perfectly within the story, right? Then I didn't realize that, they're probably giving me the guidance, in fact, of what really happened with my twin years ago and why we couldn't come together yet. So when he learns his lessons, right, and gets out of that and realizes he needs to get out of himself, codependent relationship. And because I finally did that for me, then he's going to be able to do that. And then he could be dealing with the doppelganger too. Like, I don't know. It's just so crazy. Or he could just be the karmic by himself, or just not in alignment. Maybe it's just still hermit energy. Sometimes people go in that hermit energy and get lost in it. They don't come out of it because they don't do the healing. They just stay comfortable in that energy. And that could stop your twin, from spiritually advancing, because you can't fully come together to your spiritual match, right? Then I was like, well, what if he's just a karmic and rolling out of the wrong person? I was just like, oh my gosh, like, damn it. Sorry, guys. I'm like, Source, whatever. Like I said, I surrender to you. I give up on finding love. Like, and then I was like, there it is. You're supposed to find this love from within. It's about loving yourself. And it doesn't matter if you're down the right path or not. It's going to come to you no matter what. And you don't want your twin to come in when they're not awakened, because, see, I got to experience that the past year. I've been with someone that's been just like me, and like the love has been so beautiful, or so I thought, and that the intense chemistry and passion. But then I was like, is this a lust spell? Because this is like amazing. Like, I never felt this before. I feel like I was melting. Like, I'm not even playing. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And I would even be like, gosh, this feels so amazing. Why is it that I still feel as though I don't want this? Because why do I feel as though? And I was like, is this a test? Because this feels so, he was just so cute. He could never keep his hands off me. Always holding my hands, always wanting it. He was so sweet, but there was just something that I knew was off. And I couldn't explain it. And then as I ascended, Source just wouldn't let me say otherwise. And I was like, I need some clarity. And the readings I keep getting is that the twins in competition with you, and all of that. And I definitely was seeing that, feeling that, and I'm like, that would make so much sense that he'd be my doppelganger, right? That's why he was in competition with me and jealous of me and envious, but see, it was creating a huge block for me because of the insecurities and how I felt was stopping me from being able to work. I even got to where I had to give up on my tarot because all my stuff kept getting projected into it. And then everything, all of his insecurities, he was projecting into me, and then I was feeling it, and I'm an empath, and I couldn't work. So I was like, fine, I'll listen to you. I will make him leave, and, and all of that. So, you gotta listen to source. It's like the best thing I could do because I needed to get some time to myself for clarity, right? And then as we've been separated, it's like I've been seeing him go to extremes and getting seeing a scary side I've never seen before. And I was just like, wow, oh my gosh, was it all a mask? And then I've been getting realization, looking into him, yeah, I guess he didn't really show me love. He projected it as love because that's what he wanted to do. It was all game. He wanted to know my secrets. He wanted to know more about me. He wanted to know. He knew I was gifted. He knew that. All of that. And he just wanted me to himself. He wanted me to, just always be there for him, feed his ego, feed him. But it was like he wanted to take over what I had. So doppelgangers can be evil, right? See, it's like he didn't want the world to see me. He didn't want me to advance. He didn't, my career was starting to go so well. I'm like, what is going on? Then all of a sudden in 12 o'clock, I'm like, all of a sudden, what is the block? I'm reaching out to YouTube. Am I shadow banned? What is going on? I just don't understand. So your doppelganger can very much block you. But you know what? It taught me the most amount of lessons, and that's why I felt as though it was my twin, because a lot of times I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm arguing with my damn self. I'm not even playing. I'd hear our arguments. I'm like, it sounds like I'm arguing with him about stuff that I do, and it's aggravating me that he does it. So then that's when I've heard people say that before, and then I've heard of the mirroring. But see, your twin, they are your counterpart. But it's you guys work so well, the yin yang symbol, because your weaknesses are their strengths and their strengths, I can't talk. You know what I mean? That's why it fits so perfectly, right? And that's why you can have the similarity, or because you're the same soul, so you have those same likes and interests and things like that, right? But you complete each other, but you have that similarity. But this was different. It was he had his passions, his hobbies, right? And I had mine. And it was just always it had to be his. It was never mine. He never would listen to me about spirituality, about nothing. I was starting to feel like he was a devil agent, sent against me for a while, just blocked me from working. So for a while, it was oh my God. And maybe that is, like I said, I really haven't even looked up doppelgangers. Is it an entity thing? Maybe he was supposed to block me from my path. Because like I said, I really believe that the chosen, they always know that we've been chosen. And they've been watching us our entire lives. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to get another video pulled. Okay? I'll be good, YouTube. All right. So, I don't know. I just felt that I needed to share that. And then, so the last part of the download that I got was, okay, why am I looking so much when I've always known it's going to attract me? So I just need to love myself. I'm by myself right now, which is perfect. It just got me and my babies. And, I need to focus on me and my kids. And I was like, well, the twin flame journey, right? It's, it's about spiritually awakening, evolving, and all of that. I'm like, yeah, but love is going to come, but I'm not looking for it because that's when it happens, right? And I'm like, well, how do I know that I was trying to tell myself, well, how do I prepare myself when these things come in? Because I've already got exes coming in, and then I'm trying to, close up loose ends, because you need to get this clarity to get your light body up to do this 5D ascension or whatever. So anyway, and I was like, so what do I do when this stuff comes back or whatever? How do I know? And so starting to think about it. And then I was like, why have I never thought before that your twin is the other half of your soul? So if it's the other half of your soul, wouldn't the other half of your soul be just like you in the way of having the same the same type of like morals, beliefs, like not from an outsider point of view. Like a lot of us look at twins, like you hear that you're going to look similar, you're going to have similar hobbies and traits, because I don't know if that's really a thing. I mean, you may, but still you got a masculine and a feminine, right? So if a feminine is really into cooking, the male may not. The male may be more into sports, so you can't really go off of that. But to me, like I'll tell you an example. Like to me, I know that I'm a very compassionate person. I like to connect on an intellectual level. That like intrigues me more than anything. I'm not one that just likes to go have a fling, and I can't do that. It's like I get turned on by conversations and talking with people and getting into deep conversations, and I love intimate settings, things like that. And I'm down to earth. I'm a humanitarian, things like that. Like I'm really into, spreading love and care. Like that's the type of stuff. So I was like, so if I'm looking for my twin would be the same way. My twin would be so open to spirituality. Like I know that I was an astrologer before and all this stuff. Like they would definitely be into the stars and the cosmos and and definitely into tarot and all of that, and very spiritual. And that would be 26 with 6 on the clock. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I've never met anybody like that before. Right? So I was like, that's why they say sometimes some of you have never even met your twin. And your twin's going to come. And before I was like, no. Well, that ain't my story. Those are those people that just get in one relationship and stay in that same relationship for like ever. And then they miss out on. That's what I used to think. No. It makes sense to me. So you need to start thinking. If you've never had a relationship with somebody that you feel as though they're so much like you, not by how they act, okay? Not by how they look, not even by, like I said, just the interest, like on a soul level, It's like if you can imagine what you would be like in the opposite sex, it's like if I was a male, the type of vibe, it would have to be somebody that would be of service, that would be, like this, teaching, healing, caring about our planet, wanting, I love children so much, and I would open up foundations and all sorts of stuff. Like they would need to be in alignment with that, right? So that's why I knew. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I got it. So, yeah, that's the download that I had. So it was a long time coming for me, but like I said, every Twin Flame collective I engage is probably not going to be as traumatic as mine, unless you're clearing out ancestral curses for some of your past ancestors that were witches. Because I definitely was for mine. So, there were curses. Plus, too, I've always known that, even before I was led to find, that I've got witchery and druidry and all of that, because I just always knew that like I never got to meet my grandmother, and like I was already told, my mother had no relationship with her, like she was cast out, and then I was told that I, even when she was pregnant with me, I was cursed upon, that. So I had already known that, right? And then I grew up not really having any family other than my parents, and they were toxic, so I didn't have much of a support system or really anybody to talk to. And that's why I've really self-isolated a lot. I've had karmic friends and just so many people against me ever since the beginning. But hey, that's part of my story, right? But that's why, like, I'm so thankful for having spirit, source, mine, my angels. Like, that's really what's held me together and has guided me. Because even though that was my other part I wanted to give, is that you need to be careful who you talk to and who you get advice from. Don't go to friends. Don't go to family. You got to go from within, what you feel. Talk to spirit and source, because I could not have found my way without them. And because, sometimes even your closest friends, they don't realize they're jealous, and if they're not in a relationship, they may lead you astray to kind of be single, or maybe in fact, sometimes when you're upset with somebody, you'll say everything that they did that was wrong, but you won't say not one thing that you did that was wrong, right? So you can project the wrong image of a situation or a person, right? That's why really you gotta just go what you feel, what you see, pay attention to patterns, and really investigating. A beautiful reader tonight told me, like, you need to investigate, and for me, I needed to start looking at the toxic cycles and patterns, like what was repeating. That's how you know it's a cycle. That's when you realize you're in the same type of relationship, but it's with somebody else, but it kind of feels the same, right? So yeah, and they get more and more intense, to make the point that you need to break, right? And these journeys, they're really about loving yourself, because if you don't love yourself to the most, if you're not fully loving yourself, you're not going to get that type of love, right? And so that's what it's about anyways, is self-empowerment and love. And they're very beautiful. They're a lot. And remember, sometimes it's not even about coming into union. I know just a lot of us, I know for me, I just always want to know who my twin was, right? But see, I felt I have a very, very powerful mission, and I know that I do, because like I'm on like a triple mission. I got some secrets. There's more to me than just it. Really, if I count the twin flame journey, I got 4. And you guys are going to see more of me. I promise you that. All right, guys. Well, love and light to you all. I hope that this helped for somebody. I just felt so empowered. I didn't even get any cards. I'm going to do some cards, but yeah, I'm not even going to do twin flame tarot readings. I'm just going to help the starseeds, light workers, chosen ones, with your spiritual ascension. Because see, like, guys, I'm really at the point, like, yeah, I don't even want to get love readings, because like I said, you could be picking up on your twin story. And sometimes, like, if you are getting guidance on your twin story, and like they tell you that there's like somebody doing spell work and things like that, it could be on your counterpart's side and not on yours. And that could then turn you to go against your family. But it's like they're feeling the energy as you, because it projects and you absorb, right? So it's like, even though it's masculine energy, the reader might mess up and feel that energy because it's so strong, because you're feeling it too. There's just so much. That's why I tell you, you really have to be careful. To me, the divination and the tarot and all of that should be for like upliftment, and to be inspirational, to give kind of guidance, maybe explanations after things happen, and clarity, but not really to guide you a certain way, because everybody forgets that it is a tool to use, but you have to use your own discernment and what you feel. And a lot of people, they get the mindset, you get stuck in the mind, and because you start placing it places in what you see. And like I said, I was placing everything towards, my boyfriend, and at the time, and it was very much probably giving me my twin story. So that's what I mean, and it's not fair. So, like I kind of feel bad for all, projecting anything. But that's why I know either way, I knew I was feeling something. And I didn't even find the answer until I went within. When I finally went within and I asked Source, Spirit, and Divine, then I got the clarity. So, and I feel so empowered now that I have that clarity, and it's definitely going to help with my ascension. So, all right, guys, I hope that all helped you. Definitely sending love and light to all of you. Definitely, please share this video, like it, so other twins can find it. 3322, 3323. These are all angel numbers there for some of you. If you feel they relate to you, I would definitely look them up. And 3330, I just seen. All right, guys, and 333. 3333. So really picking up on the threes. To me, that's about alignment. Mind, body, soul, spirit, whatever. I always like to say mind, body, soul, but was it mind, body, spirit? Anyways, to me, I think that's showing me that I'm getting aligned, because I finally figured something else out. All right, guys. Love you. Bye.